can travel the whole of Canada and see it in all its beauty. But down by the rocky shores and the rolling Atlantic Ocean, it is the most beautiful, so the Maritimers say. Back home in Nova Scotia for a few days off with his family, Garth Cudmore is looking forward to some quiet fishing with his son.
Steve and I try to get out as much as we can. Last time, about a month ago, we were lucky. We got to know Herb. He fishes for his living outside Dover Village, just a few miles from Halifax, where we live. Herb, he's a real character. And seeing us amateurs fish, well, didn't take him long to figure out we'd kind of like to go out in his boat with him. Well, how do you like that? Sure makes a difference to be where the fish are. I know Annie. She's never going to believe we caught all these mackerel. Annie's cooking. Especially tonight's mackerel. We all go for a lot of fish down here. Yes, sir, she's an expert at it. And I should know. I see good cooking every day of the year. I'm a dining car steward. Several times a year, one of our own dietitians comes along for a ride, and if she's satisfied, well, I know we're on the right track. Here in the Maritimes, we serve fresh salmon steak, and I mean freshly caught, early this morning before we left. A lot of people never tasted truly fresh fish in their life until they traveled with us. One thing about running a dining car, you have to work fast. You know, people meet people on the train and they all like to dine together. So we serve a lot of passengers at the same time. And that takes teamwork.
First trips are exciting, especially when you're a 9-year-old. But once Mummy tucks you into a comfortable bed with a friendly porter ready to answer your call, you'll remember for a moment all the fun you had in the Maritimes, and then drop off to sleep. But not everybody wants to retire early, least of all those in a holiday mood. For them, there's always the evening bingo game, where you can have all the fun of the fair. You speed quietly through the sleeping countryside with its history of old battles fought, wooden ships and gallant sailors, with its tang of the sea and the unforgettable beauty of its coves and villages. Soon, the shores of the Maritimes are left behind as the changing face of Canada brings you to Quebec, La Belle Province, a province of contrasts, where flowing landscapes and historic villages parade past your picture window. Names that ring age-old bells or echo man's present-day accomplishments. Matapedia, Montjoly, Rimouski, Rivière-du-Loup, Montmagny, Lévis, Drummondville, St. Hyacinth. First-time visitors have no trouble getting information. They're bound to meet an enthusiastic companion, more than ready to point out landmarks, fill in on history, answer questions, tell of the beauty spots, and if you're interested, give you a quick lesson in French. As you near Montreal, you're bound to hear some of its highlights. Mont-Royal, a mountain right in the heart of the city, with its breathtaking view of Montreal, her towering skyscrapers and wide boulevards. You'll hear of her churches, centuries-old Cathédrale Notre-Dame, Notre Dame Cathedral, L'Église Bon Secours, Bon Secours Church. You'll hear of its glittering nightlife, French cuisine, and of quaint streets with boutiques and sidewalk cafes, which make you think of Paris.
Someday Monique will be getting married. I remember walking here in Place Ville-Marie with her about 4 years ago. She seemed such a teenager then. I enjoy going shopping with her, just the two of us. It makes you feel a little old, though, but also proud. Twice a month, I'm home on Sundays, and we all have breakfast together then. We laugh and joke a lot. And although we are glad to see Monique happy, my wife and I perhaps still don't realize she soon will be starting a home for herself. I may not be a grandfather yet, but the railroad sure makes me feel like an uncle. Kids. The train has as much magic for them today as in my younger days, but there is so much more for them to do, to play with. Handing out the games and toys to these young travelers makes me feel like Père Noël. And believe me, as a lounge attendant, entertaining these boys and girls gives their mothers a chance to relax, to have a conversation, or just dream away with the passing scenery.
In the parlor car, there's comfort and time to catch up on your last-minute notes and reports. Time for a friendly chat with the attendant, who remembers you from your weekly trips. Your trip is over before you know it. You're there in the heart of town.
morning, what's better than a cup of well-brewed coffee with a dash of hospitality? At coffee time, my passengers can drink as many cups as they like. They are, so to say, boss over their own coffee pot. They meet new neighbors for a change. And pouring a cup for them, well, it makes you feel at home, huh?
Throughout a travel-living train, there's a feeling of friendliness and a tinge of excitement. A couple taking that long-planned trip to the coast. Someone going to a wedding. New friends comparing notes. Honeymooners. A businessman returning home. Travel living is comfort, pleasant companions, interesting conversation. For some travelers, only two things count. Food and sleep and, well, dry divers once in a while. It's easy to take it easy on the train. As the miles go smoothly by, there are so many things to do, or not to do, as you wish. Along northern Ontario routes that used to be traveled on foot or horse, now the shining, safe road of steel that links the Atlantic with the Pacific has changed months of arduous travel into days of pleasant travel living.
Winnipeg is the end of the line for some of my passengers. The trip really paid off for them. New business arrangements, acquaintances, new friends. You know, after 17 years with the railroad, it's a cinch for me to spot passengers who travel with us, perhaps, for the first time. Some are familiar faces to me. Traveling is their business and my way of life. Yes, I can say it is people that make my job interesting.
Jazz. We're a good group. We've played together for a couple of years now. I still remember when we got our first piano at home. I must have been 6 or 7 then, and I've been pounding away on it ever since. Now, my boys started lessons this year. Sylvia likes to see me off when she can. Sometimes the children come along too. I'll take them out for a meal when I get back. They always get a kick out of that. Dave's a good man. Never any trouble taken over from him. Gives us a chance to catch up on the news. And he'll tell me about any special passengers, like babies or invalids. Ah, must be square dancers going to the competition. They look like real fine people. They're booked on my car. Well, my job is to act like kind of a host as well as a porter. You know, make them feel at home. Show them where the lighting and air conditioning controls are. Ask them if there's anything they want. It's kind of important when they're going to be on the train for a day or so.
A bedroom on wheels with all the comforts of home. Anytime you're traveling, there are 15 CN transcontinental trains on the move. While you sleep peacefully through the night, the wires between dispatchers' offices along your route are busy as they clear the way for you. Ahead, food stocks are being made ready. A special car waiting to be picked up, perhaps a convention group or a charter coach full of vacationers. Early next morning, what's better to start off your day chatting away with your newfound friend, the porter? Her first trip on the train, and the fascination of watching a bed disappear in the wall.
In the morning, the passengers sure get a surprise. Boots all shined and polished, ready for the square dance. Just like at home, our passengers get their paper. I play newsman in my car. I try to keep up with the headlines this way. One thing I get kind of a kick out of, I can always tell a couple on their honeymoon. They're so easy to please. For them, life is beautiful. Mike, our conductor, likes kids. Sure knows how to amuse them. These days, not too many people outside the railway carry a watch like that.
Change of plans, a forgotten birthday, you're never out of touch with the rest of the world on the train. No problem. Just send a telegram. The coach lounge is another favorite meeting place. The opportunity to meet new friends, talk over your holiday trip, new territory or familiar places. Find out about other parts of the country. You can't help but relax in a friendly atmosphere.
Hundreds of Vancouver families take their children to play here on weekends. I often come here with my son. You know, I've lived in Vancouver the greatest part of my life. But after traveling all across Canada, well, there's nothing like Stanley Park. Jimmy, like most boys, likes the aquarium best of all. There's always something going on. I've been railroading a good many years, long enough to see quite a bit of coming and going. As a conductor, I've had tickets from all kinds of people pass through my hands. Celebrities, movie stars, politicians, heads of state. I've carried them all. And of course, just plain nice people. They don't have to be famous. They're all important to me. Most people know me as the man who punches the tickets. Well, that's only part of the story. The thing that concerns me most is to see my passengers satisfied and comfortable, and to help those who travel with us for the first time become familiar with train living. I started with CN in the days of steam and smoke, and now, well, I'm glad my company didn't stay behind the times. Just like the railroad, I like to stay up to date myself. How up to date can you get? Maybe he's got a big deal cooking. Anyway, he's got his own office on the train. And she has her own boudoir. All my passengers have been looked after by now. Harry's a good porter. I've known him almost 12 years. Well, now I'll get down to the tickets and my paperwork.
As the sunlight filters through the early morning mist, the Rockies have a magic all their own. You're overwhelmed by the changing light on their craggy snow faces, their absolute size, the rich dark green of the trees. As your train winds through the valleys, history slips back through the years to the hardy surveyors who found the routes for a railroad yet to be, and then the engineers who pushed it through mile by mile. Today, breakfast, just as you like it, as the miles glide smoothly by. The windows of the Scenoramic car give an ever-changing pattern of mountains, lakes, and rivers, and your conductor won't need any encouragement to point them out and name them. Names that come from French, Scots, Indians, and just wanderers. Tejon, Miette, Fraser, Moberly, Athabasca, Mount Sorrow, Roche Bonhomme. On every turn of the route, a fragment of history passes you. Rustle of excitement and talk. The highest peak in the Canadian Rockies, Mount Robson, 12,972 feet high, and beautiful wearing her crown of snow. This is where memories are stored up. Unforgettable memories of nature at its greatest. Virgin forests, mighty rivers, and above all, the mountains. Stop and experience them if you have the time. Those who have the time will stop off at Jasper, ride the trails on horseback, or to the Columbia Icefield by snowmobile. Visit Jasper Park Lodge, golfing, fishing, swimming in a heated pool, or just sunbathing. It's all there for you to explore and enjoy. Others, onward bound, still have many sights to see. New experiences, pleasant experiences that you're bound to have all across Canada if you go travel living. Places to see, people to meet, service supreme. You're among friends when you travel CN.